today it is an IPMAT Indore intensive marathon. So we have questions only from Indore papers of the last few years. Fine. Okay. So we have reading comprehension questions first. However, at the end of the session, I will be doing a tips round, okay, a quick round of last minute tips for you. So, one of the things I have included there is that you should, in the paper, given the time constraint, you should try and attempt the shorter questions first. Okay, the shorter questions. What are the shorter questions, guys? The shorter questions. What are the shorter questions? Vocabulary. If they are going to give us vocabulary based questions, then we also have grammar, right? We also have fill in the blanks, can be grammar or vocabulary. So those are very short questions. Any vocab and grammar questions are what we call the short questions. Okay. Apart from that, yeah, so those are the questions you should handle first. So any error identification, any fill in the blank question like this, there are fill in the blanks with multiple blanks also. In Rohtak they have been, sorry, in Indore they have been giving 3 blank fill in the blanks of late. I think till a couple of years ago they also had 4 blank questions, but even then these questions are much easier to solve than, say, para formation, para completion, and definitely reading comprehension. Okay, so complete the para. Could we count this? Yes. Complete the para would be somewhere in between short and long, right? Good question, Manisha. Because we only need to fill in one sentence, we can consider it kind of short. But then the trick there is that you need to, or the catch there is that you need to read the entire para before choosing from 4 complete sentences. So compared to question like this, where you only need to read one sentence and identify one word to fit or one expression to fit into the blank, even para completion can be a little long. But yes, shorter than reading comprehension and shorter than para formation also. So ideally, the order I would suggest would be to start with vocab, then grammar. Vocab and grammar are more or less the same. Then, yes, like you said, para completion, then para formation, and then reading comprehension, unless you are a reading comprehension pro. I do know students who are extremely quick readers and who have very high accuracy in reading comprehension. If you are one such student, then please follow your own order. Okay, but this is what generally works for most students. Fine. Let us look at this question. What is this question here? Okay, complete the sentence by choosing the most appropriate word or phrase. As you can see, the options are all phrases, not words here. And this is from IPMAT 2024, last year's paper. Okay, so we have dealt with idioms, phrases, phrasal verbs, etc. extensively. And dear students, please revise your notes of all these question types. Okay, idioms, phrases, and phrasal verbs. Please go through your list of all these because these are sure to appear in one way or the other in the exam. Okay. Let us read the sentence. In a circus where performers share dressing rooms, training spaces, and work in a fast paced environment, the success of a show dash fostering teamwork and collaboration. Okay, so what is the meaning here? The success of a show depends on, or it amounts to, fostering teamwork and collaboration. Please look at the options. Comes with, come along with, comes down to, comes about. Okay. Okay, here I've got multiple answers. First of all, which option can you eliminate straight away? Straight away, can't you eliminate this? Uh, Give me a second. Where's my pen? Okay. Ah, okay. Yeah. Now my question has gone off. Give me a second. Yeah, here we go. So, what can we eliminate straight away? The success of a show. The subject is what? The success. Success is singular or plural? Success is singular. So, success comes with, success not come with. Hence, we can rule out B. Okay, very good, Priyal. You can rule out B. Hmm? If anybody mentioned B as the answer, please note this is an option you can straight away eliminate even if you don't know the meaning of this. Now, even if it were comes along with, success of a show comes along with, what would that mean? Along with success, you have other things also. But what is the meaning of this? Success comes through fostering or comes uh, through. Yes, if you are to use come, then we have to say comes through fostering teamwork and collaboration. But the actual meaning is comes as a result of, or it boils down to, or it amounts to, or is equivalent to. Right? These are the implications here. Hence, come along with, even if it were comes along with, it would not make sense. Comes with. See, normally when do we say success comes with? We say success comes with its own share of challenges. Means if success happens, then other aspects which are sort of different from success also come along with it. Okay, so that is the meaning of come with or come along with. Mm, every victory comes with its own whatever challenges or its own problems, issues. Okay, A and B. Now come about, to come about is to happen, so that also does not make sense here. Comes down to. Very good, those who got the answer. Manisha, Aryan and others, if anyone got the answer. Comes down to, something comes down to or something boils down to, same meaning. Means it means, success means, or success amounts to. That is the meaning of come down to. Okay, did you get it, guys? This is from the actual exam last year. Okay, so this is the level. You just need to practice the phrases, idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs that we have already discussed, or any list anywhere online. Please go and go through it. That is all. Okay. Here, a similar question again. This is also from the same paper. Okay. The students' picnic plans dash when it started raining heavily in the morning. Can you give the answer? The students' picnic plans, what happened to the plans? The plans got foiled, or the plans failed, collapsed when it started raining heavily in the morning. So, dropped out, dropped off, fell through or fell behind. If you know the meaning of this, here it is a phrasal verb. Okay, phrasal verb. These are all phrasal verbs, you know, right? A verb followed by some preposition or something to make an expression which has its own meaning. Okay, excellent. Many of you have given the answer. Fell through. Very good, guys. Fall through. To fall through is to fail or collapse, especially in terms of plans. Okay, a plan falling through means the plan collapsing, okay, or failing. So, not dropped out. Someone dropped out from something means they opted out, they decided not to be part of something. Drop off is to drop someone, actually, right? Or to drop things at someone. I dropped off some vegetables at my mom's place. I left them there. I went and gave them to her. Okay. I can see your question, Yashraj. Give me a minute. Okay. Let me finish this. Then I'll look at your question. Okay. Drop out, you know of school dropouts, right? You know the expression, someone dropped out from school means they decided to discontinue. Drop off, I told you. Fell behind. To fall behind is to literally be behind the rest of the people, to lag behind. Okay. So what do we have here? Fall through or fail. Okay. I have a question from Yashraj. Yeah. I am still unsure about grammar questions and low on confidence in my answers with IPMAT. Any suggestions? Okay. Uh, Yashraj, when we do the grammar questions today, see how you fare there. Okay. See how you do there. You have, if you are a student of time, then you have your grammar study material. Please go through the basic concepts once quickly. If you are not a student, try to just gather your wits, gather your presence of mind, and see what are the question types which you are okay with in grammar. Okay, ultimately, if you are scared of grammar, are you scared of vocabulary? Maybe vocabulary is what works for you, right? Maybe I'm saying this because the exam is around the corner and I can't tell you to keep practicing now. That is going to make you more nervous. I am sure you have done your preparation well. It is just a lack of confidence. All of us have our problem areas, right? In any subject, we all have a problem area. So if grammar is what you're scared of, don't attempt those questions right in the beginning. Okay, you attempt vocabulary questions. How are you with reading? Is your reading speed okay? Hmm? Are you okay? Because see, reading comprehension is one area where you don't have to dig deep for answers. You don't have to burn your brains actually. If you understand the passage well, that is one question type where you actually have the answers in the paper. Right? You just need to know how to interpret the passage. So, Yashraj, this question is for you. Are you okay with reading comprehension? Yeah. Are you somewhat okay there? If so, then change the order that I just mentioned. Okay. If grammar is what scares you, keep it for the last. And then everything is top notch beside grammar. Then why do you have to worry? Yes. Huh? Grammar is not the end of the world. Okay. You will have 4 or 5 questions in grammar. What you do is you look at, see, you're saying everything is top notch. That means you're doing really well in all the other areas. Wonderful. Do your vocab first then. For you, I'm changing my order. Do your vocab first, then do your reading comprehension. If you are confident with para questions also, you do those. By then, you know how many questions you have attempted. Then you go through the grammar questions. You'll definitely be able to do 1 or 2. Enough. If you leave a couple of questions, nothing is going to happen. Nobody ends up getting full mark. Nobody, as in very few people, end up getting full marks. That is not required, right? Couple of questions, if you leave, at least you will not get negative marks. Leave those tough grammar questions with confidence, and attempt the others well. Okay, good luck. It's good to know your strengths and weaknesses. That is a wonderful thing. Okay, fine. We have another, what is this phrasal verb? All the employees agreed that the new regulations had dash positive changes in the workplace. A very commonly used phrasal verb. All the employees agreed that the new regulations had what? Had contributed to or had created positive changes in the workplace. What is the answer? Brought up. All of you are saying brought up. Hmm? Can you please think? This new government dash some reforms. My parents brought me up. But the new regulations didn't bring up the positive changes. To bring up is to raise. Okay, to raise. Okay, now the answers are coming. Yes, that was an initial confusion, I guess. not brought up. To bring up is to raise, or there is an to raise in two ways, okay? One is to raise children, to bring up our children. Another is to raise an issue. Okay, why did you bring up this issue now? Right? Means to raise an issue, to highlight an issue. Okay, these are the two meanings of brought up. Okay, careful there. Brought on positive changes does not have any particular meaning. Okay, there is no particular meaning for that. We can say, come on, bring it on, bring it on. Okay, that is all. Now, brought along. I brought along my daughters for the party. So, brought along is to literally bring with you. To bring about. Haven't you heard this? I am sure you have. I think it's because of the past tense that you are a little confused. What is to bring about reforms or to bring about changes? To bring about is to cause or to create. Okay, so the new regulations had brought about positive changes in the workplace. Please note, I know phrasal verbs can be a little confusing, a bit of last minute revision. That is all you need. Don't get worried. Don't get worked dash. Come on, don't get worked dash. What do I have in mind? Which phrasal verb do I have in mind? Don't get. You all know this. I'm just asking you to work your brains. Don't get worked. Very good, Priyal. Don't get worked up. Absolutely. That is also a phrasal verb. All of you know this. So it's as simple as that. Don't get worked up. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Now, this is a sort of idiomatic kind of expression. Okay. If you ask me to give you a rough estimate is the clue here. For the cost of the project, dash, I would say 30 lakhs. One more comma will be better. Dash, I would say 30 lakhs. Look at the expressions. Off the mark, off the grid, off the cuff, off the mic. It should be easy. Off the mark, huh? Guys, look at the meaning little more carefully in the exam. Don't go and click like this, okay? Huh? Just 2 more seconds to think of the meaning. What is the meaning of something is off the mark? And what is the intended meaning here? Does he want to make a wrong estimation? Does he want to misestimate? He wants to make an approximately correct estimation, but a rough estimation, right? Off the mark means your answer is totally off the mark. Unfortunately, option A is totally off the mark. Not only is option A off the mark, but it is totally off the mark. Means it is wrong. It is a wrong estimate. What is the answer here? Off the cuff. Very good, Navya. And others. Many others have given. See, very good. Off the cuff. Off the cuff is just like that, a rough estimate. Okay, you know what a cuff is, right? Cuff of your shirt. So, off the cuff, I'm pulling out an estimate. That is all. It means a very rough estimate without proper calculation. Got it? Off the cuff. Not off the mark, off the grid and off the mic. We don't know what they mean. So, there you go. Clear? Guys, if you are not a student, you can just go online, look for some phrasal verbs and these kind of idiomatic expressions. Okay, phrasal verbs, phrases, common phrases. You will find all these questions. Don't panic. Okay. Here some confusing options. Can you tell me? Some big shots know how to escape the law even after big shot. You know what that means, right? Elite people, those in power or authority or the rich ones. Some big shots know how to escape the law even after they violate it. It is, however, the dash who are more often apprehended means caught, booked by law, and punished. Aha, very good. Minisha, others? Small fry, tiny shots, big shot, tiny shot. Good one. Tiny fish and small fish. This is IPM Indore 2023. Okay, actual questions. Okay. Small fry, tiny shot, tiny fish, small fish, all sound good. Which is the right answer now? Oh, this is good, yeah? So all of you are familiar with small fry? That is nice. Nobody took small fish, huh? Very good. Small fry is the answer. Small fry refers to the less important people or the less powerful people. Okay. In some contexts, we also say uh, small fishes. That is a different context. Okay. The small fishes are the small player, not small fish, but small fishes are the small players, the less powerful players in a group of whatever, in a competition or something. But here it is small fry. Very good, guys. That's again idiom. That's why it's called idiomatic expression. Idiomatic expression is an expression which we do not have an exact reason for its origin. Okay, fine. This all of you should know. This is again 23 Indore. A few brands tailor their pants in such a way that it is easy for people with prosthetic legs. Do you know this meaning, guys? Prosthetic legs, prosthetic limbs. Do you know? These are artificial limbs. Okay, it's a term you should all know. Prosthetic limbs are artificial limbs. Prosthetic legs to put them on. This is how they. So if a company decides to make its pants in such a way that prosthetic legs can also fit, they are going out of their way. They are doing something extra. What is the right expression there? Yes, all of you got it. Good job, guys. Wonderful. Go the extra mile. Go the extra mile is to do something out of the way, to do something beyond the bare minimum expectations. Yeah, especially for a good cause, to help someone, etc. To go the extra, or even when you put effort in your studies, you can say go the extra mile. That is extra effort. Very good. Okay, none of these make any sense. Okay. Okay, so we have, okay, the incorrect part of the sentence is underlined, but there is no underline here. So what is this? Board's hopes to continuing till where? Here. This is the underlined part, okay? So who was the student who had an issue with grammar? Yashraj. Yashraj, also please try this question, okay? Let us get over that fear. The negotiations are unsuccessful and the boards, first of all, see if you can spot the errors in this sentence, okay, in the underlined part of the sentence. The boards hopes to continuing talks on a future deal seems, okay. Many mistakes are there. First of all, see if you can identify all the mistakes. After that, can you pick the answer? Excellent. Minisha, others? Others, if I say excellent, that doesn't mean always that it's the right answer. Others don't need to go by that. Whatever it is, any attempt, I will say excellent. Okay. So please give me your answers. Okay. Yeah, give me your answers, whatever they are. Um, Okay, those who picked C or B did not spot one error here. Okay, what is the difference between these two? What is the difference between these two? Can you tell me, guys? Boards and boards. The difference is in the placement of the apostrophe. Yes, possession. Very good, Sahana. Plural. Absolutely. So, in words which form the plural using S, okay, if the word is singular, you put the apostrophe after the word. If the word is plural, you put the apostrophe after the S. Please note this, those who do not know. So let me check if you understand this. The kids, um, how do I erase only this? I don't know. Sorry, everything went off. I need to underline this again. Okay. So what is the difference between the kid's mother and the kid's mother? Just in case anyone is confused with this, what is the difference between these two? The kid's mother and the kid's mother. The same thing here, okay? I just want to make sure you understand the rule because this is an oft tested rule in all these exams. Singular kid in the first sentence, one kid, more than one kid. Second one, excellent. Second one is the mother of many kids. Very good, Kanak, Minisha and Sahana. Excellent. Good job. Chocolate for you. Please buy one each on my behalf, okay? Tell your parents, don't forget. So the first one is one kid's mother, one kid. Second one is 2 plus. Correct? No, my math is correct. 2 plus. I can't say 1 plus, that will include 1 also. Many kids, as you all said. Okay. This applies only to plurals which end in S. Now look at this. Children's park. Tell me, is this correct? What I have written here on the board. Children's park. Is this correct, guys? Yes or no? Just tell me. Yes or no? We need to brush up some rules like this. You remember, guys, those who came for Rohtak, we brushed up the rules on tenses, and I think you had 2-3 questions on tenses, no? I was very happy to see that. So, yeah. Children itself is the plural. No, no, excellent. So, more chocolates. If we eat so many chocolates, it'll be bad. So, get some nice things for yourself, okay? It is not correct. Children itself is plural, absolutely. So, how do I erase only one thing? Let me try, okay? Let me try eraser. Now, if I go here, oh yes, that worked. So, children's apostrophe is wrong because children is a plural. It is not a plural ending with S. Correct? So, we have to add S and, oh, and, okay, and put the apostrophe here. Fine? Got it? Okay. So, the answer here is A. Now, you must have understood why it is A. Boards, hopes. See, here another problem is boards hope to continuing talks. No, boards hopes to continue talks, not to continuing talks. Okay, technically it is not correct. Some in American English I've heard such usages, but technically I hope to continue. I have hopes of continuing. Correct? So, board's hopes to continuing talks on a future deal is not really correct. Also, the board's hopes is the subject. Hopes is a plural word. Hence, you cannot have seems. That is also, see, there are multiple errors here. Now you can see that the first segment is correct. The first option is correct. If you have any doubts, please do ask me. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, last year's paper, IPM Indore 2024. Okay, so what is the underlined part from provide to solace? from provide to solace. Let us underline that. Okay. Yeah. Is not of continuing wrong, huh, Kanak? Let me go there again, okay? Board's hopes of, my hopes of passing the exam or my hopes to passing the exam, Kanak? My hopes to pass the exam or, wait, let us clarify this question for Kanak. So, my hopes of passing the exam were not in vain, or my hopes to pass the exam were not in vain, but of passing the exam would be a better choice here. Okay, did you get it, Kanak? Huh? Did you get it? If you didn't get it, please tell me, okay? The board's hopes of doing something, of continuing talks. Okay, you got it. Wonderful. Okay, let us come to this. Some of you have already given me the answer. B, C, B. Let me see what the answer is. While the bustling city streets were filled with the cacophony is loud noise of honking horns and chatter of pedestrians. Okay, yeah. The serene countryside where time seemed to move at a slower pace provide a welcome retreat. What tense is this sentence in? The first part of the sentence, what tense is it, guys? The bustling city streets were filled with, past tense, simple past tense, okay? Were filled with the cacophony, passive voice, but past tense. So we need the entire sentence to be in past tense. You can't change the tense suddenly, no? Again here, the serene countryside where time seemed to move at a slower pace. So, what tense should this be in? You tell me now what the answer should. Simple past. Very good. Hey, excellent, guys. I'm very proud of you all. You all remember your tenses. Excellent. So, C, right? Provided. So, let us read it again with the correct option. Provided a welcome retreat for, okay, error here, for those seeking solace. Solace is peace. Okay, provides is present tense, provides is again present tense, and again here them seeking solace is wrong. Provided a welcoming. Between welcome retreat and welcoming retreat, welcome is better. They were welcoming in their attitude, but a welcome retreat, a welcome break, a welcome change. Game over, huh? What game is over, dear? You mean this question is over? You want to move on? Okay. Got it? Fine. Okay. My Aunt Seema was the most generous of all the members of our family. Whenever common confusing usage, okay, with insist. Whenever we went out for dinner, she always insisted to pay for the meal. Sorry. Where would this underlined part be? She always insisted to pay for the meal. Okay. Insisted. They insisted to go out, etc. This is a very commonly used wrong usage. So, okay. You have, this is some sort of quick revision. Arnav, I didn't get you. Is this some sort of quick revision? Yeah, it is. It is. What do you want it to be something else also? Please let me know. Last few minutes, we will have tips and tricks before moving on to quant. Okay. Yeah. Arnav, please feel free to give me your suggestions. It is some sort of quick revision because the exam is knocking at our door. But if you want something else, do let me know. Yeah. So, okay, you were just checking. Fine. So, she always insisted that she will be paying for the meal. No, that there is a tense mismatch. She always insisted that she pay for the meal. Now, when it is she, you will ask me, why shouldn't it be pays for the meal? Right? This is the use of insist. She insisted that she pay for the meal. Here, the subject verb agreement is not followed. It is just a usage like that. I suggest that she sleep well today, not she sleeps well. Okay, I suggest that you sleep well. I suggest that she sleep well today. That suggest, insist, there are a few words like that which break the conventional grammatical rule. Okay, she insisted that she had paid for the meal. Insisted on and paid for the, insisted on paying for the meal would be okay. That is also correct. Insisted on paying for the meal, but not on and paid for the meal. Okay. Is it likely that the exam be postponed now that, see, that we do not know, Teshu. Okay. We really do not know about this. As same doubt all of you have in your mind, as of now, there is no such notification. Okay. That is all we can tell you. These kind of things, ICAI was postponed. See, till the day it is announced that there is a postponement, you go ahead and be prepared. Okay. Anything, I understand your uncertainty and your anxiety. We all share it, but we have to move forward as if the exam is on. Do not have second thoughts, don't have doubts in your mind ki anyway it's going to be postponed. That what if it is not, right? Anyway, preparing twice is not going to harm you. Right now you are gearing up for uh, the exam, right? Go full gear till we hear otherwise. It may or may not be postponed. What if things get better? We are all hoping for that, right? Hmm? So that is why we have this webinar happening today, in the hope that things will get back to normal. Okay, let us see. Fine. Okay, so the answer is insisted that she pay for the meal. Please understand this usage, okay? If you want, you can take a pic also so that you can look at it. The same thing for suggest. She always suggested that she pay for the meal. She suggested that she pay, or she suggested that I pay for the meal. Whatever it is, that is the usage with suggest also. Okay, fine. Now, yeah, question number 22, that is which, Indore 23. Okay, Indore 23 again. Let's see. When you play the Secret Santa, you are expected to buy a gift for whoever you are assigned, without letting them know that you are the one buying the gift. Okay, please look at this very carefully and give me the answer. Okay, excellent, guys. You're super quick with this. Okay, you play the Secret Santa and you are assigned someone to give the gift to. So you, let us say the person you are assigned is a boy. Okay, just for the purpose of using the pronoun, subject pronoun, object pronoun, I'm going to show you the difference. Okay, you are assigned, or no, assigned we don't need. You are, you give dash the gift. So the person is a boy. Hence, what pronoun will we use? You give him a gift. You give him the gift. Him is the object pronoun here. Now, if it is a question, we will say, whom did you give the gift to? Not who did you give the gift to. That is a very common mistake. You gave the gift to him. Who gave him the gift? You gave him the gift. Whom did you give it to? Okay. In casual American spoken English, they often uh, behave like they don't know whom at all, and that is why we all get confused. But whom is the object pronoun in the interrogative form, in the question form, or in when you point, I will not get too technical here, but when you point out to a person, then without letting them know, sorry, so you are expected to buy a gift for whom? For the person you are assigned, for whomever you are assigned. Okay, not who you are assigned, not whoever you are assigned, not, okay, whom you are assigned is also fine, but whomever is a better expression here. Whom you are assigned is not wrong, but then here they have written it as whoever you are assigned. So it means it may be anybody. If you say whom, that sense of it being anybody will not come. Okay, fine, very good. Those who got other options, I hope you understood. D is not completely wrong, Akshara, but whomever you are assigned without letting them know you are the one buying the gift. So that whomever has the implication that it can be anyone. Okay, sometimes in these exams, you get multiple correct options and you have to pick the best among multiple correct options. The best one is A. Okay, I hope you got it. Okay. IPM 23, Justin couldn't understand why his friend had refused to work in a company that offered him a huge salary. If it had been him in his friend's place, if it had been him, he would definitely accepted such an offer. Okay. Easy. He would. Okay. He would. If it had been him, he would have, right? We last session, I think we spoke of what we call the impossible tense. It is, there is no such tense, but subjunctive mood it's called, but we can call it the impossible tense just for you to remember. That is something that did not happen, but we are imagining. Okay, so very good, guys. He would have definitely accepted such an offer. Here have gets repeated. He would definitely accept it does not make sense. He would have definitely accept is wrong. Easy one, right? An actual exam question. Yashraj, did you look at this question? Yeah, very easy question from IPMAT 23. I hope you saw this question. I'm sure you would have been able to solve this. So not all the grammar questions are very, very challenging. Okay, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Okay, now we have some vocab questions. Okay, fill in the blanks. Shall we quickly take a look at these questions? Vocab. Now, in IPM Indore, of late, they have been giving us multiple blanks like this, 3 blanks. Couple of years ago, they even gave 4 blanks. Okay, when you have multiple blanks, yes, you can look at each word, I mean, each blank and see what word fits in there. But once you have all your words, you also have to read the whole sentence together once, okay, just to make sure, because sometimes Multiple options may fit into a particular blank, but when you read them all together, it has to make sense also. Okay. And dash found that. So all these words start with vowel sound. So on that basis, you cannot eliminate. It's and dash found that one of the marathon runners had dash slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after dash to the one behind him had let him cross the finish line just 1 second before he did. Wow. He actually let somebody else win. Wow. I'm getting the answers here. Okay. So, how do we solve this question? Let us see. Let us see each option. There are multiple ways of doing this, but one quick way would be to take all the set of words, the entire set of words, and just put it there and see. An analysis found that one of the marathon runners had systematically slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after waving to the one behind him. Waving is okay, but systematically slowed down. He did it deliberately to help the other person, so that meaning should come. An overview found that. Overview is you get an overall picture. This is you're looking into a particular matter. Look into. I used a phrasal verb here. Okay. To investigate is to look into. So it cannot be overview. Purposely. Purposely it's not actually, we say that while speaking, you purposely did it. It is not really a good use. It's not proper usage. Okay. Purposely, purposefully has a slightly different meaning. Purposely, here I hear some people say wantedly. No, there is nothing called wantedly. Okay, these are all Indianisms. Fine. Yeah. Beckoning, and after beckoning to the one, that's okay, but these two words don't quite fit in. Okay. And investigation found that one of the marathon runners had deliberately, yes, deliberately, intentionally is also correct, slowed down in the last 2 kilometers, and after signaling to the one behind him had let him cross the finish line. Why would they let someone else win? We do not know. Must be an extremely magnanimous, generous person. Okay. An appraisal. Appraisal, is a performance evaluation in companies, right? In organizations. That doesn't make sense here. Particularly slowed down. No. That also doesn't make sense. After speaking to the one behind him, is it possible in a marathon? We don't know all these things. But this overall doesn't make sense. So what is our answer? Answer is option C. Okay. Let us, okay, now we have all para questions. This is para completion. Before going to para completion, how did this come here? Let me see, okay. I thought more fill in the blanks were here. Did we leave out? Here. Let us do some fill in the blanks, the shorter questions. I'm following the same approach as I would advise you to follow in the exam. So shorter questions first, okay. Here we go. Question 27. In today's fast paced world, individuals are inundated with, flooded with information necessitating the cultivation of critical thinking skills in order to navigate the influx of the influx, right? Rapid, what do you say? Incoming data. Data keeps coming, rapid flow. Influx of data dash in order to navigate the influx of data in a certain manner. So it should be some kind of an adverb. Okay. Additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a dash challenge. What kind of challenge? Undermining people's trust in media and institutions. Promoting media literacy and cultivating a culture of skepticism, means doubt, okay, are vital for dash informed citizenship and democratic values. Okay. Anybody got the answer? Today's fast-paced world, individuals are inundated with information, necessitating the cultivation of critical thinking skills in order to navigate the influx of data. Means you have very good, guys. Many of you have got the answer. You have information overload. You need to be very careful or wise. You need to use your judgment properly, right? So judiciously is okay. Judiciously means what? Judicious is not judicial. Okay, many students get confused. Judicious also means wise or sensible. Judiciously is okay. mm, Discerningly is okay. Discerning is also judicious. Wise, you know what is right and what is wrong. Discreetly, secretly, not okay. Thoughtfully, no. Thoughtful is when you make some thoughtful gesture. These two are okay so far. Now if you look at, additionally, the prevalence of fake news and misinformation presents a systematic challenge. Would you call a challenge systematic? Not really. Yeah, presents a pervasive challenge. Fine. Pervasive means it has spread everywhere. Hmm? So now let us read this option B and C. Undermining people's trust. Undermining is weakening people's trust in media and institutions, promoting media literacy and cultivating a culture of skepticism. Skepticism is doubt. Okay, questioning are vital for fostering. Fostering informed citizenship. Yes, fostering is cultivating. Can it be inhibiting? Inhibiting is preventing. We don't want to prevent democratic values, etc. So B is the answer. Some of you got the answer very fast. Good job. Okay. Can you take a look at this? Yeah. Please take a look at this. Why not thoughtfully? Yeah? Say thoughtful is not uh, doing something after thinking well, Kanak. Okay. Thoughtful is not somebody that was a thoughtful gesture means what? It showed their care, okay, or concern. It was very thoughtful of you means it was very considerate of you, very kind of you. Okay, now doing something with a lot of thought is not thoughtful, Kanak. Okay, that is the reason why not thoughtfully. Got it? Yeah. If we take the thoughtfully option, then presents a holistic challenge is also not appropriate. Okay, holistic is normally a positive word. Comprehensive, okay, that is also not correct there. Fine. Yeah. Conspiracy theory, you know, right? When something happens, some people come up with ideas that this is a conspiracy, someone is behind this. That is called conspiracy theory. Okay, please look at the options. Wow, answers are coming in already. Let us see. Conspiracy theorists suggest that if climate change is slowly turning the planet into an oven, then this must have been the outcome of our enemies' intentional machinations. Okay, manipulation. Okay, not bad. Our enemies' intentional errors. Intentional errors on the part of our enemies doesn't make sense, no? Plotting, yeah, enemies plotting makes sense. Enemies intentional inaction doesn't really make sense here, right? A and C are fine so far. If there are no coincidences in the world, then everything including dash events can be controlled. What kind of events are we talking about? Extreme climate change, right? Outstanding events. Does that make sense? No, we are talking of something negative. Yeah. So Catastrophic. Catastrophic is extremely destructive, which is extreme climate change. Then everything, including catastrophic events, can be controlled. It is only a matter of power and prowess. Prowess is power only, strength. Okay, strength or the ability to dominate. Everything else is okay except this outstanding here. Fine. Okay, let us do 4 blank question, and then we move on from this fill in the blanks. Okay, I just want you to give some practice in quickly doing this, and all of you are good with respect to speed and accuracy. You're getting it. This is IPM 22, 4 blank question. Please take a look. Already got the answer. Wow, excellent. Hmm. Explore the solar system and the rest of the hmm. Okay. Very good, guys. Yes, many of you got the answer. Achieving space flight enabled humans to begin to explore the solar system and the rest of the galaxy. Solar system and the rest of the what? Not the galaxy. Galaxy is our galaxy, right? Rest of the, let us see. To understand, universe, cosmos, both seem okay, right? Better than galaxy. To understand, but we can still see that also if you want. To understand the many objects and dash that are better observed. Ideologies, what ideologies can you observe in space so that we can rule out now? Uh, to understand the many objects and dash that are better observed from a space perspective. Phenomena, absolutely, that makes sense. Materials that are better observed from, probably not, right? Okay, did we look at this configuration instead of rest of the here? Configuration will not fit in. I hope, I don't know if I mentioned this, so that is ruled out. Okay, now we have B here, but C also we can examine a little more. So now do we need to read all these, guys? You have got the blank, you have understood the meaning. Don't bother to read each and everything, okay? All of these activities, discovery, scientific understanding, and the dash of that understanding to serve human purposes. What? Application, not principles of that understanding. That doesn't make sense. So we can decide on B. Let us check out the last blank. Are elements of space exploration. Here we spoke of space exploration, right? So that is the answer. I hope this doesn't need any more explanation. Now we have done a lot of fill in the blanks. There's one more. I'm not going to that. Okay. Okay, word usage. Word usage is there in all IPMAT Indore exams. It has been, it has been appearing. So look at this. This is an actual question from last year, okay? What is the meaning of diffuse? The meaning of diffuse is to spread, right? To release a little by little or to spread. So please look at the use of diffuse. And tell me which sentence has used it wrongly. Very good, guys. Very smart. Okay. Many of you have got the answer. He used a fan to diffuse the smoke that had accumulated in the kitchen. So maybe it's an exhaust fan, right? To spread it as in to disperse, to diffuse it, to send it away. Okay, you understand what it means, right? Then, uh, every morning the aroma of freshly baked bread diffuses throughout the house. Yes, spread. You have all these fragrance diffusers, no? Nowadays, reed diffusers, which disperse the fragrance everywhere. Okay. Realizing that the argument between the two groups of students was getting out of control, the teacher diffused the situation. The teacher spreads the situation everywhere. That would be horrible, right? There is already an argument going on. What if the teacher were to spread it everywhere? So, this is wrong. Can you tell me, can anyone tell me what is the right word here? What is the intended word here? Can somebody tell me? It is a word similar to diffuse, a homonym, a word that sounds the same. Very good. Diffuse. Excellent, Minisha. Diffuse. To take off the fuse. That is to sort of calm it down. Okay, to diffuse the situation. The stained glass diffuse the light filtering through the windows. Yes, that is also correct. Okay, so this is our incorrect one. Okay, one more word usage question. Easy one. IPM has been giving a mix of easy and difficult words. Okay. Stay, 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 stay. Okay. Take a look. Where has stay been used strongly? You need to read the sentences properly. That is it. They do not give very, very heavy words. Okay. But yeah. So again, Yashraj, I hope you are here. These kind of questions you can easily do, right? Grammar, you will not get so many. All these question types you can easily do. Okay. Got got it already? C or D? What are your answers? I'm not able to make out what your answers are for this one. Are you saying C or D, guys? Hmm? During her summer holidays, please put your answers, okay? D, okay. She usually went to the village to stay with her grandparents, okay. You don't need to read the rest, you know it is correct. She said, I always stay awake late into the night. Do you need to read more? No. The ownership of the property went to the eldest son of the family, but the other siblings went to court and asked for a stay order. Haven't you heard of this? A stay order from the um, court. Stay order, okay? A stay order from the court is when something has been approved, then a stay order is to prevent that from happening. So the ownership of the property went to the eldest son, but the other siblings wanted a stay on that, means to hold that decision and then investigate it and maybe have a litigation or have a further trial, whatever it is. Okay. So that is called a stay order, court stay order. It is a correct usage, guys. Maybe you're not familiar with that usage. Due to the ban on slaughter of cattle, the neglected ones often stay away. Stay away is okay, but wandering into fields and eating the crops. So what are they staying away from? Excellent, Minisha. Stray away, stray away, right? They, due to the ban on slaughter of cattle, the neglected ones, they stray away, they walk away. Okay, stay away doesn't make sense there. Hence, this is the answer. Want to do one more? Huh? I think this question type. Let us see what is the word here. Further, farther, and here grave. crave. I think let's take this. Further and farther may be a bit confusing. Let us take this. Okay. Yeah. Please take a look. Further is the next degree, next level, and farther refers to distance. Far, farther. It is a comparative degree of far. Keep that in mind and you will get the answer. You just need to take 2 seconds to think of what you're talking, what is the meaning, then you will get it. Okay. Okay. You're getting this, all of you. The politician was so flustered by the animosity. Animosity is enmity. Okay. Vocab also you need enmity of the crowd. Here, hatred. Okay. In this context, you can take it as hatred of the crowd that he refused to answer further questions. Any more questions? Correct. I live farther away from college than all my classmates. Correct. Far away compared to the others. If you need to further your career, you should avoid all kinds of distractions to take your career to the next level, not to take it very far away. You can say you have gone very far in your career, but here you don't say to further your career. Okay, to further your career. Further your career. Okay. We need to discuss this problem right away and avoid letting it fester any further. Fester is to uh, get more toxic or to worsen. Okay, so they have given farther and further in one of the sentences. The usage is wrong. That is a pattern here. That is the pattern. Okay, fine. Now let us go to. Okay, now what do we have? We have para formation, we have para completion, and we have RC. Okay, they have been giving both 4 sentence and 5 sentence para formations. Okay, shall we try one out? This is all over the place in 2 slides. I'm seeing if there is. I wanted one where all the statements are in one place so that you can all see this. Yeah. Okay. What do we need to do? You need to put the order. You need to type the numbers as your answer. Okay. Let us try this out. Located in the foothills of the Sion Fort, the lake. Which lake? So this is not the starting sentence. When you do a para formation, guys, you should look for a sentence while reading. An easy approach would be to eliminate all the sentences that cannot start the para. Okay, that is one thing. Secondly, once you start making sense of the sentences, you can look at what pattern it is coming to. Okay, one most common pattern in paragraphs typically is what I call general to specific. Please pardon my drawing, where the ideas flow from general to specific. Okay, the inverted pyramid. This is the most common pattern. So the starting sentence would be a topic sentence or a definition or the introduction of a problem, the introduction to the works of a person, etc. This is a very, very common pattern. We also can have another variation on this, which is the hourglass shape. I don't know to draw an hourglass, so let me draw it as some kind of geometrical figure, something like this. Okay, where you have a general introduction, then the specific statements, and then a general conclusion. These two are the most common patterns. Then occasionally we have some other patterns like this, specific to general, where the author decides to start with a very catchy sentence, a specific sentence, like an example to catch everybody's attention. And then the sentences get more and more general. That is also possible, but this is the most common order followed by this. Okay, just keep that in mind. Confusing questions, I have only taken actual questions from the exam. Okay, I don't know what your name is, dear student, but I have only taken actual exam questions. Okay, so if you are asking me to do some confusing questions, I've taken most of the questions from the last few exams. Hmm? And some of them are bound to be confusing. If you don't find any question confusing, that means you're really good at this, because we did get multiple answers in some of the questions. Yeah, but yes, para formation can be confusing. See, here we are getting multiple answers. So student, I don't know your name, LATH_FSK. Student, can you also try this question? We are already getting multiple answers here. Okay, I'm getting multiple answers for this question. So that means that it is a confusing question. No? Okay. 31525442545151423. Okay, 51423. First, can we eliminate this order? Which should be our starting sentence? Let us see. Okay, located in the foothills of the Sion Fort, the lake. So this cannot be the starting sentence. Which lake? We don't know. Once home to several marine creatures, the lake. We don't know. That can't start. The municipal corporation is set to breathe life back into the city's Sion Talau with the rejuvenation and beautification of the centuries old lake. So this is our topic. This is likely to be our starting sentence. Over the years, the lake has lost its prominence. Again, the lake. Earlier, the talau. No, somebody started with 5. We cannot start with 5. Okay. The talau refers to the Sion talau. So we have to have that sentence before 5. Okay. A natural water tank with the Sion hillock. Okay. So 3. After 3, what? Now, here it is set to breathe life back into the city. Most of you got 1 after 3. So why 1? Because yes, you are right. Where it is located, a description. Grade 2A heritage structure. Its importance, its location, its importance, etc. So far, so good. Now, what should we have? Should we have 2? Should we have 4? Should we have 5? We can't have 4 here because over the years the lake has lost its prominence. That we cannot say before saying that it was prominent. Right? So now we have 2 and 5. Let us see. Once home to several marine creatures, the lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. Okay. Here it says, earlier the Talau was a known natural water tank with the Sion hillock expanding around it like an enclosing wall. Now, here this is a positive sentence. Here it is going to negative, right? So what should be, and this sentence says, over the years the lake has lost its prominence. So what should we have next, guys? Should it be 5? Yes, that is what I am also asking. Shouldn't it be 5? Yes, guys, it should be 5. Okay, very good. Some of you got it. Because Earlier, the Talao was a known natural water tank. Here in one, we talked about its historical significance or heritage structure. Then earlier, it was a known natural water tank with the hillock expanding around it like an enclosing wall. Now, over the years, the lake has lost its prominence and once home to several marine creatures, the lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. This is an explanation of why of it having lost its prominence, or it is an illustration of it having lost its prominence. If we do 2, 4, this is very once home to several marine creatures. The lake is now surrounded by high-rise residential buildings. This is the proof that it has lost its prominence. So you say it has lost its prominence and then you give the example or you give the illustration. Okay. So 31542. Yes, absolutely. Para formation questions. The student who asked me, can you do some confusing questions? LATH underscore FSK. Can you give me your name, please? And I hope you are here. See the confusion in this question? Yeah. So if you did not find it confusing, probably you were sure of the answer. That's a good thing. But yes, these are the actual questions. I think vocab and grammar were relatively easy. That is why you felt everything was straightforward. Now comes the confusion. That is also why I did not do these questions in the beginning. Very good, guys. Good attempt. So, guys, do one thing, okay? Para formation questions you keep to the end. Those who are okay with reading comprehension may want to go for para questions even after reading comprehension. That depends on your reading speed. If you are, IPM passages are not that heavy usually. So if you are relatively okay with reading, I would suggest here I can see the confusion. So don't attempt these questions right away, I would say. Okay, can we do this? I want to do more of para questions to give you practice. Take a deep breath, relax, and do this question. Okay, I will not read it out for you. See, the Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin. They have not mentioned the country here. So they are talking of some Central African Republic. Okay, if they had mentioned the country, then we would have to look for which country it is. But here they have not mentioned it. So they are trying to confuse us deliberately. Okay, some Central African Republic. Okay, so please take your time, take a deep breath, relax, and do this question. Then we'll discuss. Yeah. Logic is what matters in this question type. Okay, idea flow. How are the ideas flowing? You put yourself in the author's shoes and try to think of the logic behind using certain words and certain expressions. It's pure logic. Once you're ready, you can put your answers here. Okay, shall I put all the answers? Oh, wow, nice. Okay, I got one answer here. Okay, if there are more answers, 1423, 1432. Okay, more answers? Please give me your answers, guys. You know, the more the merrier for para questions. Okay, the more answers we have, uh, I will be able to expose all the flaws in your thinking. Okay, because whatever, I mean, there is nothing called wrong answer here. Whatever you have thought of, you have a logic behind that, right? So I will be able to tell you what is wrong with that particular logic. Okay. 1 4 3 2 1 4 2 3 plus 1 1 4 2 3 plus 2. Okay. Any more answers? Any more answers here? Good job, guys. Excellent. Everybody came very, very close. Most of you got the right answer. 1 4 2 3. Excellent. Excellent. So let us quickly see why not 1 4 3 2. Okay. 1 4 3 2 is very, very close actually. I also had to give it some thought. The Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin as an official currency. Okay, fine. That is the topic. Then we come to the criticism. Actually, nobody got 2 as the second sentence. What do we specifically look for with these? Like I told you, na Minisha, sorry, there is no formula or no rule, unlike in quant. Okay, unlike in quant, when it comes to English, especially verbal questions, there is no rule. In grammar, we have rules. Here, there are no rules, but common sense is what you need. That is all. Okay. And certain patterns of idea flow, like I said, what is the more general topic? What is the more specific sentence? Then what are the connected sentences rather? Are there any connecting words? Sometimes we have something called mandatory pairs. Mandatory pairs are sentences that cannot be separated, they stick together. Okay, like Siamese twins, they stick together because there may be let us say a pronoun like they said that, so who said, or it is the reason, what is the reason. So these will form mandatory pairs. Sometimes it is just the idea flow, how the author is building up a topic. Okay, this move makes the difference. What this move, the sentence this move there. Criticized this move. Yes, absolutely correct. Excellent. Okay. Because the Central African Republic has approved Bitcoin as an official currency, economists criticized this move as a potential risk to the financial. Very good observation, Kanak. Okay. Then so why not experts foresee that this will damage? Because like you said, first of all, this move. Secondly, from a very English angle, from a grammatical angle, this is has approved and this is in the past tense. Economists criticized this and the remaining sentences are in the present tense. That also shows the idea flow. Okay. Not only but also, Yukta, I didn't understand what you meant by that. Yeah. May also. Is this what you mean? Not only but also. Okay. You're looking at the logic. Very good. I got it now. You are saying that this one, right? Probably. Okay. Now, 1 4. After that, we have 2 and 3. Now, economists criticize this move as a potential risk to the financial stability of the nation. Then these two others claim that this may make money laundering easy and also use up a lot of electricity. Who are these others? Money laundering and using up a lot of electricity, it is not strictly economics, right? So, experts foresee that this will damage the environment as well as the economy. Others claim that. Others can refer to other experts. It can also refer to other people. Okay. Hence, 1 4 2 3 is slightly more logical than 1 4 3 2. Okay, fine. 1, 4, 2, 3 is the answer. Good job. Now, you want to do one more? One more para formation and then quickly RC. Okay, that's it. Yeah. We have some para completion questions with a blank. Now that question is, once you do para formation, para jumble, it is more or less the same. And I think we did para completion in the last session also. One more para formation to give you some extra practice. Yeah. Okay. Shall I do this with you? If you already got the answer, you can tell me. Okay. Just to make it a little quicker, I'm doing this with you. Fine. In this microgravity environment, this is also from last year. Okay. In this microgravity environment, your blood also tends to move towards the heart and head. So I've marked these to show that these indicate this may not be the first sentence, right? Okay. Yeah. Both effects. So we have two effects here. Both effects are only short-lived, and after a brief period of readjustment on arriving back home, the heart and spine return to normal. Fine. The heart interprets this as an increase in the amount of blood in the body and that it needs to pump less, so it shrinks. So none of these can start the para. Our para starter is 4. If any of you got the answer, you can put it. Okay. In space, so let us read the starter first properly. Okay, I have got an answer here. 4132. Let me put this here. 4132. Let us see. Okay. In space, with less gravitational force than on Earth, there is less pressure on your spine, and so it will get a bit longer. Okay, effectively making you as much as 2 inches taller. Okay, in space with less gravitational force, there is less pressure on your spine, and so it will get a bit longer, effectively making you as much as 2 inches taller. Fine. Then 4132. Give you a short break. User UDH, I don't know your name. Yes, I will give you a short break after one more question set, which is reading comprehension. Okay, because our session is only 2 hours. No, I will not take the entire 2 hours. After we do reading comprehension, you will get a 5 to 10-minute break before we start quant. Okay, are you fine with that? Okay, so what I've got here is 4132 and 4123. Sorry, 4123. Okay, let me see. Let us see which one is correct. Let us build the logic here. So, yeah, in this microgravity environment, here what happens? Your spine becomes longer. In this microgravity environment, your blood also tends to move towards the heart and head. You're absolutely right. Okay, so that is the other effect. Now, if you say both effects are only short-lived, before that there is an explanation of one, yeah. So you can't miss that, right? The heart interprets this as an increase in the amount of blood in the body, interprets the flow of blood towards the heart as an increase in blood supply, and that it needs to pump less, so it shrinks. Okay, there are two phenomenon here, 1, 2, then the two phenomena here, 1 and 2, and then the impact of 1 is continued in 3, and then both these effects are only short lived. 4, 1, 3, 2. Excellent. Okay, both these phenomena, that is the concluding statement, that it will come back to normal. So after explaining the phenomena, you say it will come back to normal. Now that's only logic, right? Okay, makes sense. Good job, guys. Let us do one RC, and then a student here, user, has asked for a break. I know break will be the end of the English session. Okay. For a change, let us take a passage from IPMAT 21, because this passage from I have two passages here, but the passage from IPMAT 24 is easier than the one in 21 overall. Okay, so I think this is a little, for most students, this will be a little tougher. Shall we quickly read this? So when you read reading comprehension passage, guys, do not forget to read the entire passage before picking your answers. Okay, don't try to pick the answers before reading the passage. Our students, time students know this, but for others also, please remember. Fine. So let's quickly read the passage. You can skim through the passage. You don't need to read it like word by word, but you need to understand overall. Okay. From ancient Rome up to the Victorian era, a training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help. Rhetoric is the science of logical arguments. Okay, I will not explain word by word, because that you cannot afford to do in the exam. Meant Training was meant to help privileged young men, rich young men, recognize spurious arguments and facts. Fake, spurious is fake. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are prepared as their ancient counterparts were to engage with the present day version of the forum, social media. Forum here refers to ancient debates, even if you don't know from the context, you know. So in Italy, Italy wants to make sure that its youth are prepared to engage with debates in the social media, right? At the end of October, 8,000 Italian schools will teach their students how to spot fake news through a program developed with the help of journalists as well as tech giants Google and Facebook. In Israel, the University of Haifa is launching a course titled Fake News. Okay, very interesting passage, right? Okay. Anything to explain here? So, earlier in ancient Rome and in the Victorian era, young people were taught to recognize fake arguments and actual facts, and the same thing is happening in many places in the context of social media. The purpose of these courses is to ensure that public debate, particularly during election campaigns, is not hijacked by vested interests, people with selfish specific motives. Okay, so you know how things are in election campaign. The discussions are hijacked by political interests. So, if the people are educated and aware, it cannot happen. Since the US presidential election in 2016, the specter of Russia and its use of on specter is like what? You can say problem in simple words, or shadow. Okay, of Russia and its use of online propaganda has loomed large over public discourse in the West. So, how Russia uses online propaganda to influence global opinions. Okay. In other parts of the world too, doctored images, doctored, you know, in today's world, you know what it is, right? Fake, uh, and blatant lies, open lies, have been published by news websites. Why news is in quotation? They call themselves news websites, but they are not really news. They are spreading false propaganda. Please notice all these cues. Given the speed with which information is shared online, the damage is already done by the time a fake story is exposed. Okay, by the time people understand that a story is fake, the damage is already done because it spreads very fast. The speed. The voters of tomorrow certainly need to be armed with the ability to sift. Sift is to filter. Okay, bare facts from motivated fiction, the voters of tomorrow, because social media is getting more and more powerful. The effects of social media on the formation of opinion, however, go far beyond fake news. So till now they were only talking about how social media leads to fake news. Now they are saying it goes far beyond fake news. Traditional or legacy media means classic media, is ordered by a need for balance. Okay, it is ordered means there is some order there, or it is ruled by a need for balance. Traditional media, a newspaper for example, has sections that deal with politics, crime, sports, the arts, et al. Et al here means etc. There is, at least in principle, an attempt to tell both sides of a story in each report. Yes, traditional media, that's the way it has functioned, right? A traditional newspaper has to have these sections, and it should try and maintain balance. That's the way it has tried to function all these years. On social media, the only editor is the user herself. We are the editors, means nobody is editing what they're putting on social media. They'll put their opinions, right, blatantly. We have to do the editing. Hmm? Algorithms ensure that people see more of what they like, that biases are reinforced rather than countered. Yes, if you like something, or if you express a tendency to look for a certain kind of news, then you are likely to see more of that. You all know that. And if you are biased towards a particular kind of news and you keep checking that kind of news, you will get more of that in your prompts, right? You all know this better than us. Fake news is certainly a crucial aspect of online propaganda, but for young citizens to form opinions based on multiple viewpoints, they need to consciously seek out more than they are comfortable with. Okay, so here social media tends to feed your biases by giving you more of what you want. But in a global scenario, if you want to form proper opinions, you need to expose yourself to multiple viewpoints, including those you're not comfortable with. Easy, easy peasy. Let us go to the questions. You tell me the answers, okay? When in doubt, you need to go and check the passage. The writer of the passage suggests that the purpose of education in early times was very different from what it is now. There are similarities in the aims of education in early times and those of today. The purpose of education in early times was to help students attain a position of privilege. As times have changed, the basis of education has expanded. You guys tell me, guys, the answer. I will only take you here. From ancient Rome up to the Victorian era, training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help people recognize fake arguments and facts. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are as prepared as those people. And also, is in Israel, the University of Haifa is launching a course titled Fake News. Here also, what was the idea? To train people to recognize fake arguments and facts. Now you tell me. You tell me. The purpose of education in early times was very different from what it is now. Can we infer that? Can we infer that? Why is everyone silent suddenly? Reading comprehension. Okay. The faster you give answers, the sooner we can wind up and go to the next session, quant session. Okay. I know you're waiting for a quant session. Come on, answers. Can we give one? Can we take one? Purpose of education was very different. How can we infer that? The passage does not mention anything. Okay, I'm getting the answers. Very nice. There are similarities in the aims of education in early times and those of today. That we can infer indeed, but we need to see if there is a better answer. In these exams, there can be multiple correct answers, multiple partially or potentially correct answers. From that, you have to pick the most correct answer. This we can infer, right? Aim of education those days was to distinguish between fake and real. Here also many countries are doing it. Okay, let us shortlist this. The purpose of education in early times was to help students attain a position of privilege. Who said that? To teach privileged students to do something. Rule out. As times have changed, the basis of education has expanded. Can we infer this from the passage? You can't pull out things from your head. We know that the basis of education has expanded. The only reason the passage mentions education is to compare and bring out the similarities between the past and the present. Logic, logic. Fake news, fake news. Hence, B is the answer. Okay? B is the answer. D is not within the scope of the passage. Okay, so this, yeah. Fine. So I can see the student who asked for confusing options here. I hope you understood, right? Here we have confusing options indeed. Okay. Question 8. The passage points out that an important difference between traditional media and social media is that. What is the difference between traditional media and social media according to the passage? Does it say social media reaches more people? Does the passage say it reaches more people specifically? It talks about this speed, yes, but it does not say it reaches more people. Please check if you are not sure. Speed is mentioned, more people is not mentioned. Okay, I'm getting answers already, I think. Wonderful. Any more answers? Please put your answers. Traditional media tries to present different points of view. Has it mentioned that? Yes. Here, ordered by a need for balance. It has different sections and there is an attempt to tell both sides of the story in each report. Definitely, that has been mentioned. Social media is more balanced, straight away, rule out, right? It is easier to spread fake stories through traditional media. Through traditional media. No, also rule out. Between A and B, A is also not mentioned. B is the answer. Easy, right? You just need to see what is mentioned. Very good, guys. All of you got the answer. Excellent. Excellent. Next. Yeah. Social media is dangerous in its ability to influence opinion in readers through its choice of news items which are presented, its balanced reporting of wide-ranging stories, its ability to guide the reader to motivated conclusions, the creation of interest by using dubious facts. What is the right answer here? Let us see. Here, this is where they are talking about this, right? But here also, yes, doctored images, blatant lies have been published. Then here, what are they saying? On social media, the only editor is the user herself. Algorithms ensure that people see more of what they like, that biases are reinforced rather than countered. Fake news is certainly a crucial aspect of online propaganda for young citizens. Okay, fine. So, what is the problem here? That there is no editing, and you can any fake news is also effects of social media go far beyond fake news. So there is one aspect is fake news, and beyond fake news, there is also this thing of propagating biases. So let us see. Dangerous in its ability to influence opinion readers through its choice of news items. Can we eliminate? Yeah, its balanced reporting of wide ranging stories, definitely eliminate. Its ability to guide the reader to motivated conclusions, or the creation of interest by using dubious facts. They are not saying that social media forces you to make certain conclusions. That is not what it is saying, but it creates your interest using fake news, dubious facts, and that is the main point here. Hence, D is the answer. You can see C is also pretty close, but it doesn't say it wants you to make certain conclusions. It guides you to certain types of news, and that can be fake also. Hence, D is the better answer. Okay. Very, very easy question. Give me your answer without even checking the passage. Vested interest means hidden purposes, popular interest, self-serving intentions, or profitable motives. I will go to the passage, but before that, if you give me the answer, it's even better. Vested interest, para 2. Where was vested interest, guys? I cannot remember where vested interest was. There. The purpose of these courses is to ensure that public debate, particularly during election campaigns, is not hijacked by vested interests. What is the meaning? Vested interest means not hidden purpose. It need not be hidden. Popular interests? No. Self-serving intentions, right? Vested interests are here in this context the intentions of specific political parties. So self-serving intentions, profitable or not, we don't know. They may get into trouble also ultimately. Hence, self-serving intentions. Excellent. Antonym for spurious. Spurious we saw is fake. So antonym for spurious, antonym, not synonym, is, tell me. Inferior means something that is below, right? Opposite of superior. Incisive, very good. You already gave, all of you have got the answer. Incisive is piercing, sharp, okay, going deep. Dubious is doubtful, suspicious, sus in your generation's language. Genuine. Genuine is the opposite of fake or spurious. And last question. The writer of the passage calls social media the present day version of the Roman Forum because it is a space for the Roman Forum. They haven't mentioned Roman actually, they've just called it Forum. But why have they called it? In what context have they called it? Let us see. Social media, they have called the modern version of forum. Yeah, where was that? Yeah, here. Here. Times have changed, but contemporary Italy is determined that its youth are prepared, as their ancient counterparts were, to engage meaningfully with the present day version of the forum, which is social media. Here, training in logic and rhetoric was meant to help privileged young men recognize spurious arguments and facts. Okay. So now in this context, why is he calling it a version of the forum? Because it is a space for carrying out political propaganda only, discussing ideas, nurturing political ambitions, or spreading spurious arguments. What is the answer here? Carrying out political propaganda alone? Can we eliminate that? Nurturing political ambitions, can we eliminate? Whose ambitions? They're not talking of any of that. Between B and D, you guys have put D for the previous question. I think for this question, writer of the passage called social media the present day version of the Roman Forum because it is a space for discussing ideas or it is a forum for spreading spurious arguments. Can you say its intention is to spread spurious arguments? You have to recognize good ideas and bad ideas, right? That doesn't mean that social media is a forum for spreading wrong ideas or fake ideas. It is a forum for discussing ideas, and in the discussion, you will see good and bad. Correct? Hence, the similarity between the Roman Forum and the social media is that both are avenues for discussing ideas. The answer is B. Okay, guys? Yeah, that brings us to the end of the questions here. I have a few tips for you before we move on to quant. Okay? And like a student suggested, we will give you a short break also. Yeah? Any questions for me in the meanwhile while I run you through the tips? Some of these tips we already discussed during the session. If you have any questions for me in the meanwhile, quickly put them in the chat box, okay? So you saw how we went about the session today. As I told you several times today, please look for questions that you are most comfortable with. For majority of the students, the shorter questions are the ones they are more comfortable with. So fill in the blanks are usually very easy. If you don't know a word, you don't know that word and you can leave it. Otherwise, they are very, very easy. Idioms and phrases, vocabulary and grammar. Okay, grammar, couple of you told me that that is a problem area. Those students can keep it for the end. Okay, then when you go through these questions also, no, quickly mark the ones that you are sure of. The ones that you are not very sure of, don't just put inky pinky ponky there. Okay, please don't do that because it has negative marking, right? So you can hold those questions there, mark them for review, hold them, quickly mark the ones you are very confident of. This applies to all sections actually. Then para questions and RC need time, but don't just skip them just because you don't have time. You have to budget your time wisely right from the beginning of the section. Yes, you will get a 10-minute break. 2 seconds, I'll finish this and then you will get a 10-minute break, I promise. I know it is strenuous. You will get a 10-minute break before the quant session. Okay. Yeah. So do not just blindly decide I will skip RC or I will skip para. Why? Because guys, you don't know whether there will be difficult questions in vocabulary or grammar, right? So if you start with a strategy saying I will only do vocab and grammar, what if those questions are very tough and you have easy RC questions? You saw today RC is not very tough, right? So don't blindly decide I will do only this. Okay. Then revisit the passage when the options are confusing. That we saw. I demonstrated how we do that. And yes, don't take any blind guesses. While you do need a certain number of attempts, you do need a high number of attempts. Don't take blind guesses. It is better to leave a question than end up with negative marks. Okay, that's